Workers, welcome to a new video. Today we'll be talking about the books that I read last month. I know that this video will be uploaded late to be talking about the books that I read last month, but I wanted to do it anyway, and I had to talk about the books that I read on the Owls Readathon. So let's start. Last month was a very good reading month. I read 12 books along 2,715 pages, and I almost liked all of them. The first book that I read last month was Saga Volume 1.
Don't talk to me that way! Really?
This is this is a graphic novel that is about something similar to Romeo and Juliet. It's basically Romeo and Juliet in space with lots of blood and some sex scenes. So that's it, but it was really good. So there's two main characters, which are this guy that is called Mario, I think, and the girl whose name I don't remember, and they're from two different planets or something like that, which are on war, and they fall in love, and it's basically the whole story is like a flashback, her daughter talking to us about how her parents met and how they had her basically. And at first I thought the violence was a little bit over top. In fact, I tried to read it 1 year ago and I didn't finish it, but this month I bought it, and because I wanted to get through it and to read the whole series, and I really liked it. I think this story is really good, the characters are lovable, and I'm really interested to see what happens now. So the next book that I read was Ender's Game. I already talked about this book a little bit in the reading blog, but now I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. So I had already read this book in Spanish a few years back, and now I decided to read this full series in English. This series is about in the future there has been two wars against the beggars that are an alien species that try to take over the earth, and they have humans have won the two first invasions. So now they train little children that are very intelligent, so they can go to space, become commanders, and kill the buggers basically. And it is about this little kid that is called Ender that is very intelligent, and he's recruited at 5. And I don't know, it's basically just how he evolves. It's basically a little bit science fiction, but the part that I liked more was the psychology of the characters, because they are so well developed and so well written, and I really like the politics and strategies in this book too. The first book that I read in the readathon was Antichrist. It is the book that I read in French, and it is about basically a girl who has no friends as always, and she meets a girl in high school, or was it university, but this girl looks very nice. She's perfect basically, and she started finding out that this girl wasn't so good after all, and basically this girl who's called Krista, she isn't so good, and she starts to manipulate her parents and the main character herself, who's called Blanche, I think. And I know I had a mixed feeling about this book, because I don't know, it was a little bit weird. The writing I feel like the writing didn't know what it wanted to be. But I ended up giving it 3.5 stars, I think. And I liked it, I think. It's just that it's really weird. And it left like some unopened questions at the end. And I wasn't really satisfied with that. And the next book that I read was actually a manga. It was Reckon of the Roast King, I think it's called in English. And it was a retelling of Edward VI and Richard III by William Shakespeare. And it is set basically on like Middle Ages. And it's about like a confrontation between the kingdoms of York and Lancaster, and how, well, the main character is the son of the King of York, and well, he hasn't been able to go to war because he was born with both like, and he has not been able to go to war thanks to this because they don't let him. But he's like, he wants to go to war because he has a really special relationship with his father. He wants his father to be proud of him, but her mother is like ashamed of her son. I know, it's a little bit complicated and I was a little bit confused by start, but I loved it. I think the plot was really good. And I want to continue reading the next volume. I ended up giving it 5 stars, even though the star was a little bit confusing. The next book was one that I said on the reading blog that I would need to be liked. But, in fact, it was like horrible. I mean, okay, it wasn't bad, it wasn't that bad, but it was just tiring, because, well, I'm talking about Star Wars, Building a New Hope. Okay, I thought this book was a really good idea when I bought it, because, I mean, it's funny, you know, it's just Star Wars written by Shakespeare. The thing is, that's the only joke in the book. And it was really well done, because it really seemed like it was done by Shakespeare, but, I don't know, it wasn't just, it's a funny thing to have, but not to read. So, the next book that I read was Norse mythology. Well, actually, I just finished it because I had read like 70% of it, and I really liked it. It's basically the Norse mythos retold by Neil Gaiman in an accessible way, and it was really interesting because I didn't know anything about Norse mythology. It was like a collection of short stories because there was like different mythos, and of course when you read a collection of short stories, there are some stories you like more and some stories you don't like, and I gave it 4.5 stars, I think. The next book that I read was The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I also finished this one because I had already started it last month. And I liked it, but it was a little bit slow. But the world building was great, and I don't know, it was fun. I don't know, as an introduction to this world, it was great. As something fun to get through, it was okay. I gave it 4 stars because even though it was a little bit slow for me, I think it's a really good book. Next book that I read was Letters to a Young Poet. I had to read this for Spanish, and I fairly liked it. I mean, it was okay, I guess, but, well, it's basically 10 letters that this guy sent to a poet named Capus, and they're about existential questions, basically. And I mean, some letters were great. They had really good ideas, but some of them were just like repetitive and just talking about the same stuff over and over. The good parts were really good, but the bad parts were really repetitive and boring, honestly. Next book that I read was also a manga, and it was Relatos Terroríficos by Ito Junji. This manga was, well, it's a horror manga, and it has like 3 stories, I think, and they're so odd. I don't know how I feel about it, because the ideas are sometimes, well, in these series are sometimes cool, but the way they're executed, I don't know, it's just that I honestly don't know what I think about it. I give it 3 stars, I think. And the last books that I read were the 3rd and 4th book in the Percy Jackson series. I had read these books like in Spanish also some years ago, but I decided, well, I'm rereading the saga with the audio books, and I really liked them. I think I like the 4th one better, because the 3rd one was a little bit slower. I really liked the introduction of Nico D'Angelo, who is my absolute #1 crush, as you can see. And seeing the characters after knowing what's going to happen afterwards in Saga is really interesting. And that's it basically. I really liked them, but I gave the 3rd one 4.5 stars and the 4th one 5 stars. I hope this video wasn't too long, but that's it for today, I guess. And I don't know, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to leave a like if you like this video, subscribe down below, and follow us on our social media on Instagram. We're called Wrecking Your World, and see you in the next one. Bye! And let's get that out. No one saw it. Following books. The following book that I read.
That's it.
How was it called? Krista? Yes, Krista. Children, don't get drugged.